Throughout the yin sessions, I speak about the meridian system and how it relates to our yoga practice. I'd like to clarify the use of these terms, meridians and qi. Meridians are the Chinese equivalent of the Indian term nadis. They are the unseen pathways that flow through our connective tissue and bones throughout the body. These pathways carry both blood and qi through them. They are an invisible, comprehensive network that link all our substances and organs. The nourishment and strength of the meridian system is essential for the health and vitality of our physical and psychological well-being. The Chinese term qi, or sometimes called qi, is the equivalent of the Indian term prana. It is the foundation of all life and vitality. Its essence is movement, and it functions as an animator. The Chinese yogis, or Taoists, refer to qi in its observable forms as positive and negative poles of all primordial energy, yin and yang, co-essential elements in all manifestation. They are inseparable. There is no material form that exists with one and not the other. So in this series of practices, we offer both yin and yang styles of practice to include a balancing of the various aspects of our nature. The Chinese and Indian yogis discovered that opening the major energy channels has a revitalizing effect on the whole system. They also discovered that most illnesses arise out of qi blockage. So these poses practiced in this way is an attempt to coax qi into various areas, particularly the joints, where energy tends to coagulate and stagnate, and thereby flooding the meridians and the respective organs with revitalized energy, which has an immense effect on our overall states of being. We can allow these long-held poses to be a time of hearing and contemplating teachings and stories that encourage us to reflect on our own, often uninvestigated self-concepts. I share some stories to elucidate the importance of investigating the insights the Buddha taught on the three universal ways we suffer, namely the struggle with sickness, old age, and death, the suffering of inevitable changes, and the suffering that arises out of our inability to penetrate the deeper truth about the nature of our being. So in holding these poses this way, we not only will be benefiting our tissues and energy, but can be expanding our willingness to feel into ourselves, creating the potential for opening into our larger experience. There are three simple features that are important to remember as you practice these poses. The first is to come into these poses to an appropriate edge, non-aggressively, but with enough sensation to be pressurizing or pulling tissues in an appropriate way. If you have certain areas that are fragile or hypermobile or even injured, then utilizing variations and modifications and props will of course be skillful. These areas need the flush of qi through them as well, but we want to be very aware not to exacerbate any current injury or condition. The second feature that's important to remember is that this is a practice of stillness. It's an opportunity to surrender into our bodies, our hearts and minds, cultivating an allowance of being with things just as they are. So we diminish fidgeting, fixing, improving, or coming out of the poses. The third feature, which is necessary to impact these deeper yin tissues, is that we hold the poses for a number of minutes. In this way, it allows for a qi infusion into particular meridians and their respective organs, revitalizing and balancing the system similar to a needleless acupuncture session. If you need to come out of the poses sooner than my suggestion to keep the practice more integral for yourself, please do so. I feel so grateful to have added this style to my other practices, and I hope you find the yin sessions and all the practices valuable as well. Namaste.